Hello, good evening. Hang on, turn everything up to the absolute maximum. Got to do that. Still got to look into why that's not as loud as it should be. It's very disappointing. Oh my goodness, that's very quiet. That should be better. Bit more volume on everything. Wee. Right, where are we? Where are we? Evie, hello. Lartbig, good evening. Everyone, good evening. Hello, hello. I got your message. I haven't ignored you. I haven't got around to taking photos yet. I will do. Well, that's not true. There are photos on here of it all set up. I just can't get them off here. Don't even begin. There'll be emotions. We're not ready for that. So yes, I hear you, and I'm on the case for you, buddy. Oh, but how is everybody this evening? How are we? Are you all well? I trust you are. I hope you're having yourself a great week, because that's what weeks are for being great. Hey, Captain Castle. I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. I've got a new camera. I don't know if you can tell, but we have a new camera. We have a new camera that we've just set up for this evening, so we're going to see how that works. Because we needed a new one for various reasons. And the one I've been working on has been fine, but I wanted to kind of upgrade a whole set of stuff that I'm doing. And yeah, the opportunity presented itself, and so yeah, we're trying it this evening. So we'll see how it goes. In gear, hello. Doing fine, surviving the heat, preparing for the worst heat, and preparing an Infinity intro this Friday. Bravo, you're absolutely nailing it, buddy. You're doing all the demos. Good job, man. Right, where are we? Oof. That's not the right button. Oh, there's a badger. Hello. Thank you for raiding. My goodness me. Don't defend. Larkbeard, be nice. Welcome, raiders. Good evening. Hello. And these Sanguinius miniatures. Not over here, unfortunately. You won't find any GW over here. Anything but GW. It's literally what you will find on this channel. A lot of Infinity. An increasing volume of Drop Zone. A disproportionately huge amount of Eldril Chronicles, because that's how it should be. But yeah, all good. Way too warm. Darina, it's not normal. Dropfleet, shush. Dear Lord, look, don't start. Don't, there'll be tears. Gonna make me cry this early? At least wait till later. Anyway, yeah, you'll find Dropfleet. You might find Drop Zone at some point. That's the thing that could happen. Knowing my ability to control myself. Being as vague and yeah, vague and not so great as it is. Where are we at with you guys? We're finishing off some more Biophyces tonight for my demo fleet, because we need to. So we've got 2 done now, but we've got a lot more to go. So this is what they look like when they're done, if you haven't seen them before. It's kind of nice. So we've just got to do the orange and the yellow on these. I think, actually, no, they need the purple as well. Look, they don't have the purple. My goodness. It's terrible. So, yeah, we're doing that tonight. Crystal clear view on those beautiful ships. Thank you, Gear. Rages of the Lost Paintbrush. Indeed, Darina. Yeah, it's this new camera's working for me already. I'm liking it very much. Got the next wave collected a little list of 7 minis for him to use to beat my bacooning up, and then we'll teach him more slowly. Good job. Good job. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to 37 degrees C. Yeah, I'm not interested in that at all, to be honest with you, EV. That can get in the bin. The only thing I'm dropping is tiny parts from models when I try and put them together. This is the way, Larbeard. Great, looks great. Thank you. All good. Managed to rope in another player into Infinity last weekend, so we now have gone from me in March to 6 players. That is epic work. That is awesome. Good job. Currently building the old mass objective room. Oh, I remember that one. Is it the one before it was coloured? As in, it's just the wood. Because if it's just the wood one, oh man, I had arguments with that. There's an old mass one that was the objective room for infinity, and that thing was no. Not interested in that at all. Never doing that again. Thank you very much. You couldn't give it to... Oh, Evie, you made a seven streak on stream. Thank you so much. 7 stream streak. I don't know why I said that weirdly when it's written on screen in front of me. Literally all I had to do there was read it. And I managed to completely louse that up. So you're welcome. If it's your first time here, I introduce you to the standard of what you have ahead of you. So yeah. Pure wood. Oh. If it's the old school one, man, I don't know why. You know, I don't know if you have it. You sometimes hit something and you're like, oh, this is easy. I'll just do this, and then you start on it. And you're like, this sucks. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. This is horrible. I had that with that room. I'm not entirely sure why. So yeah, currently having to sand all the connecting points in order to make it fit. Yeah, that's the one. There he is. Woo! I mean, it makes me happy because it's not just me. Dana, good evening. Too dang hot. Not happy with it at all. I've no interest in this whatsoever. No, thank you. And we're trying out the new camera and seeing how that works. So, you know, seeing if that's the thing. So, it's happily focusing on the hand. I could do with you focusing on the miniature. That would be great if you could just, look, this thing here. Do this thing. But yeah, it's literally this new camera came in the post today, and we realised that we'd managed to order it without a micro SD card, and all of my other cameras have got SD cards, so that was no use. So I was on looking after the kids today, so I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I chose to. I chose to fly out to a local electronics store and pick up an SD card just really late in the day. It was one of those things where like, yeah, I've got to go and do it to get the device working, and then as soon as you're out the door, you're like, that was not bright. I should be at home sorting dinner, and instead I'm here. But it all worked out, in no small part thanks to my gorgeous and ever-understanding wife. So that was good. But yeah. So we're just trying this out and seeing whether this works for stream. So I'd welcome your thoughts at the end of the evening, because I normally run on a webcam. I normally just run on a nice webcam. But this is just focusing on hands. You've got a bit of a hand fetish, haven't you? Look at this thing. This is what I want you to look at. I don't want you to look at fat hands. Anyway, it's going to take some tinkering. So apologies if things are a little bit more random than usual tonight with the focus of my device. But yeah, it's going to take some tinkering with, I think. Anyway, 37 degrees, and my AC is dead, I believe. I hope I can get it kicking in the next few... Sure, that's just not fun. It would. Yeah. You got him laughing. Well, you know. Good evening, agree entirely. I can't paint in this weather at all. Yeah, my wet palette is like a swimming pool at the moment, just to keep the paint like moist. But it's just sticky and it's unpleasant, and I'm not happy. Ivy, all focus seems a bit peculiar. It does. It seems very enthusiastic. Well, it's meant to be looking for faces, or it's trying to look for faces, I think, is what's going on. So it's trying to figure out, you know, the face, but there isn't one. So, you know, it's having a bit of a moment. If it's too annoying, I'll switch to the webcam again. That's all right. I just wanted to see how well it would work. And it works nicely. I mean, the image quality is nice. But I think, yeah, I'm not sure whether it works so well. We shall see. This was actually bought for 2 reasons. And none of them were actually streaming. The streaming concept just came about because I was like, I wonder if I can. Because it's a 4K. Not that I'm streaming in 4K. But you know, when you see that you can and you think, well, I'll just give it a try. And then you do and you're like, well, it works. But I should have maybe done a little bit more research before coming online. Anywho. Welcome to Hydra's experimental stream. What could go wrong? It's a pretty good image. The autofocus is making me dizzy though. Yeah, if it continues to do that. Yeah, no, I hear you, Enzelius. You can use force to focus at a certain depth instead of auto-adjusting. Yeah, it's like I say, I've had this device Probably about 6 hours. No, a bit longer than that. Worst comes to the worst, we shall reshuffle around and put the webcam back on, and it'll be cross with me, because webcams are when they do, you know, when they get rejected, albeit briefly. What do you reckon? Should we switch back to the webcam? Would that be nicer? Vote. What do you guys think? Webcam or keep going with this? Tell me. When it is playing, when it's behaving, it's very clear though. But that's what I want it. It's what I want it for. It's not for this. It's for 24 inches, quite nice here in Berlin. 24 degrees. Oof, that's not too bad in gear. I am slightly jealous. Where's Legion Mass Effect when you need the platform? Well, true. Is a good 23 degrees painting no problem? Yeah, well that's because you're a machine. Yeah, no, I know I can tinker with it, but it's like I said, this was a moment of whimsy. I think about 15 minutes before I came online, I was like, no, I'm going to do it. You know what, I'm going to do it. Because what will probably happen is I'll plug it in, and then OBS will be like, nope, no, can't see that, doesn't work with it. And of course I plugged it in and went, yeah, no problems. We just configure everything. There you go, it's all set up. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice. Thanks for that. Everything just worked. It's one of those rare moments where technology just plugs and plays, which is nice. I appreciate when a device behaves itself. Well, when every device behaves itself for 5 minutes joined up. It's a rare thing, and it's appreciated when it happens. So. Webcam, noted Darina. Started with that Battlefleet box. Nice. Yes, same here. Yeah, Gene Dean, bye. I got the Battlefleet box, and I've actually realised that what I've done is with the stuff that I ordered last week before, I can't remember. No, a little while back actually. Why isn't it here yet? Anyway, with some other stuff that I ordered, I have ordered another Battlefleet box on top of it. I've just done it in bits rather than all in one go, which was maybe not the most cost-effective way of doing things, but, you know, that's exciting. And I've built all of the stuff that's come in for that, because that's for my PHR. I just haven't started painting it yet. You know. Rizzo's, I hear you. Yeah, I don't think I can tinker with it right now. Ooh. This is going to hold there. It's not going to hold there. No, it's not going to hold there. What I'll do is I'll briefly jump off and just switch over to the webcam and then hop on. So give me 2 minutes. What I'll actually do is just stick it in standby because I've got the stuff around me, so it's not going to take long to switch it out. So just give me a sec and I'll come right back. Don't want you guys feeling seasick. Right. That's not the right button. That one goes off. Oh, yeah, it's not picking itself up. It's unhelpful. And I'm going to need to restart this, aren't I? That's so frustrating. Because it's still seeing the old device, but... Oh, there we go. Right. We have the technology. We got there in the end. Cool, that's so much closer. So much smaller the space. Hello. Back in the room. Made it work. Back in the room. It'll help. 1 One thing that might help is trying to have your friends. Yeah, no, I hear you. I need to tinker with it all. It was an interesting experiment, and I'm quite impressed. But that's not actually bought it for, because this is what we were playing with. If you've not seen one of these before, this little guy. Whee. So an Osmo 3, because this is for primarily this is for when I go to events and shooting battle reports and stuff like that. It's going to be done on this, and I have another channel that I want to start up, so this is going to be used for shooting that. So it's not really for streaming. I just wanted to because I'm a child. I'm not travel blogging. Can you imagine? Holidays with Hydra. Welcome to my channel, and today we're travelling into deepest, darkest Peru. I don't think anyone's ready for that, especially not the rest of the world. Honestly, I couldn't do it. I could do it to them, but I'm not going to. Models Eye POV. Proper influencer tech. I know, right? I'm trying to sort of hide myself as one. No, the idea with it is, Larkbeard, is that, yeah, you can shoot down, like, right down on the table and get right in on the shot and things like that. Because using a phone or even, you know, using a digital camera and stuff, you can't quite do it. And I want to make shooting battle reports. Yeah, I want it to look a certain way and feel a certain way, but I also want to ensure that the time that I need to spend on it is very focused. So I don't have to sort of move the terrain out the way, shoot the models. I just want to stick my camera in there and take the shot, you know? That's kind of where we are with that. So, yeah. I'm not going to rise to that insolence either. Calling me an influencer. I'm not going to rise to it. I will not be baited, sir. I shall not be baited. Influencer. As long as you don't accuse me of making content, we will be fine. Am I going hunting for Paddington constantly? Would be very cool. Time to pump the camera out the door. No painting for me today, but I'll see about trying to play some Infinity on TTS later this week. Could learn when to be aggressive and when not to, and to position troops better. Always be aggressive. The answer is always violence. There's never a moment when you shouldn't be violent in Infinity. So it's just a matter of degree. That's the truth of that one. I still need to get things done. Yeah, don't we all, Dorina? I hear you. Is the pre-painted mass stuff easier to build? I do have to get a lot more terrain to fill up some boards, and I currently just have a lot of the CB paper terrain. The straight answer is that it's not particularly taxing, but it can be a little bit time consuming. But then you have to offset that with the fact that when you are done, when you've built it, it's done. Whereas with just plain MDF stuff, when you built it, you still need to paint it. So you end up saving a shed load of time just based on the fact that you miss out that entire step. It just isn't there. So where I have, yeah, well, I'm actually in the process of sort of cutting back from 4 tables to 2, or have in fact done that, which is great. So much more room in the storage area. Yeah, it's nice to have that kind of, if you're not somebody who enjoys painting terrain, it's nice to spend that little bit of extra time sticking it together and then walk away and be like, right, but that's it. You know, when that's dried, I'm ready to play. And that is a really nice feeling. And that for me just sells it, to be honest with you. That's convenience, because I'm not a terrain painter. I love the idea that I am one, but I'm not. There's not a world in which I'm painting terrain and enjoying it. It's just, it's not my bag. More's the pity. Actually, not more's the pity. It's just not my bag. Good quality battle reports for games would be nice to watch. I do miss not having many of them for Infinity. Yeah, I mean, if there's still this idea, I'm really struggling at the moment to find a venue. I need a venue to shoot at, because I've worked with companies around the area before, and I've worked at studios which would be perfect, but for one reason or another, they're just not available. They're just not something that I can gain access to or whatever. And that's really annoying, because I don't want to build up a whole studio, but I want to sort of rent out a studio for an afternoon, or for a day, sorry, and shoot a whole batch of battle reports, get them edited, and then launch them over the course of a month. That's the dream. That's the direction. But trying to find a venue that I can do that is proving to be rather challenging, shall we say. But we'll keep looking. Let's see, see if anything turns up. I'm sure something shall at some point. But yeah. Did you manage to sell the armies you sold? No, I've still got two armies left to sell, Evie. I've still got my Invincible Army and my Corregidor. Actually, somebody asked for a full list of all the stuff in my Invincible Army the other day, and I haven't sent it to them, so I need to get that done. But it's, yeah. You tend to find that sometimes you'll put stuff up and it's gone in seconds. And other times you put it up and it waits and it waits and it waits and it goes. So it's okay. They'll find a new home at some point. I would like the space back, to be fair, but I can live as I can wait. You know, it's not one of those situations where you're selling it to pay bills, which you see people having to do that, and I feel bad for them because, you know, as soon as they put that up, people are like, okay, therefore I can pay you less. That guy needs help. Don't just steal his stuff. Anywho, controlled aggression. There it is, machine. You learned. You listened. It's nice to hear. Terrain painting will be done with a big makeup sponge and an airbrush for me. And with someone else. That's the thing, get slave labour in. Totally recommend that, Yoppa. Evening Nuclear Kid. Cool to see some tiny spaceships sitting at the desk. I'm doing more competition stuff for a model 3 next month. Nice. I expect to see that on the Discord, please, young person. That would be good. Thanks for the answer. I'll look into it then, as I would rather spend more time on my minis than painting terrain. That's it. Yeah, the Warsaw stuff is gorgeous, and if you're in Europe, it's just not worth trying to get it. Bluntly, it's just not worth it. It's so the tariffs before the Orange Tyrant did his thing were just ridiculous, and now with the extra bit on top, it's just impossible. I've heard nightmare stories, and I'm not comparing them to be fair, but I've heard nightmare stories of people almost paying the same amount for the terrain in tax. And it's just like, I won't buy it then. Which is a real shame, because Jay and the crew make some beautiful stuff at Warsaw. And it would be lovely to see some on the table in the UK. The UK? Jesus. In Europe, but it's just not going to happen. Not at those prices, not in this this economy. Sad but true. But yeah, building terrain as a manufacturer, as a job, is such a niche thing. I do appreciate companies like Mass and Warsaw that do it, because it's a lot of work and it's not a lot of margin, if you know what I mean. I do appreciate they put the time in. I bought the terrain with someone else because I couldn't straight up afford it on my own. It's not entirely your own problem. Outstanding. Probably cheaper to fly with than to suitcase. It probably is. Although I think the problem is, see, this is why that wouldn't work for me, okay? Because I know, I can tell you now how that would go, right? Warsaw is a little treasure trove of excitement. It now has Eldfall in it. It's got the Infinity. In fact, it's got the Corvus Belly range in there. So it's got all the toys, okay? And this terrain. If I was to fly over with the express idea of buying the terrain, I would be knackered when I got there. At that point, my ability to control myself in the presence of all of the toys that I like drops to 0. And then we have a problem, because I've only got one suitcase, and it's supposed to be full of MDF. It's not going to be. I'm going to end up with 2 suitcases, a bill for extra luggage, and regret. That's just how that's going to go. Eldar is best faction. You could put the case that Eldar are the best faction in 40k, I guess. If I was to ever return to 40k, if I was ever to have that moment, I would play Eldar. I would do an Aspect Warrior army. That would be the only thing I think that I would do. So I was always worried that actually it would be Blood Angels that would pull me back in because they were my main. Space Vampires for the win. But then we've just had the new box drop and I didn't even get like a Twitch in the wallet. I was just like, no, I'm fine. I'm all good, thanks. I do not need to get involved in that. Thank you very much. But any time that I have a moment when I'm like, actually, maybe, then all I need to do is go to the GW website, put normally about 4 squads of 10 miniatures of Eldari into a shopping basket, look at the total, and my desire to play is alleviated instantly. Like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine. That's an entire army in several games. Several of the game systems, sorry. So I'm good. Could I afford it? Yeah, I just don't want to. Which is not a slight for people that pay 40k. I think you all have your sort of point of the value of the thing, how much you're prepared to pay. And current GW prices are just vastly beyond what I'm prepared to pay. They're not even remotely in the same sort of postcode. Not even the same damn city, to be honest with you. It's ridiculous. Hurts my soul. It was never particularly cheap. I started out with Rogue Trader and it was never particularly cheap back then. Subjectively, for a 7-year-old. But good job for priming, dear lord. That's some work. I came back from the interplanetary with an extra suitcase. Larkbeard, it's the way forward. Randomly out of context, agreed. That new box was terrible value. Apparently their sales of it have been bad. Lots of FLGSs have panicked about overstocking. Yeah, I've heard there's been issues with overstocking on the new Armageddon box. Which is a shame. I feel bad. You know, FLGSs, sometimes I feel that FLGSs are this weird company that just cannot read the room, and it will never cease to bewilder me while that's the case. And I've worked with several over the years. So as a day job, I've consulted for several over the years. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 5 or 6 over the years. And all of them, bar one, maybe two, had the issue of just completely not understanding what they were doing and what their place was in the industry. Just totally did not understand what they were for. And so they do stupid things like that, where they go off and they buy. So like with Infinity, I had a store. This wasn't one that I was consulting with, but it was one that I was working with my community. And every time a set of new releases would come out and somebody would order it, sort of pre-order it for Infinity, the owner would buy 2. They'd buy 1 to fill the order and 1 for the shelf stock. Now, I was like, because he was complaining about the amount of stock that he had. I said, why have you got stock? And he sort of explained what he was up to. I was like, why are you doing that? Why are you buying stuff when you don't understand the system? Because the stuff people were buying, yes, it was pre-order, but it was kind of the niche stuff, like, I want this particular support pack. Now, not everybody's going to buy that. There are certain things that everybody buys, and there's certain things that you buy when you want them. You know, it's very specific circumstances. Having 2 of them on the shelf, or 1 of them on the shelf, constantly was just like, well, of course it's dead stock. I can tell you, people aren't going to buy that. I could... Anyway. I don't know why they make it so difficult. So, yeah, so buying 50 of the new Armageddon ones, I can understand how that happened, and yeah, that they're stuffed. So save gluing the dick pile of feet for the stream. Larkbeard. Good luck, my friend. Everybody pay respects to Larkbeard. He's going to glue the dick pile of feet down, which is just literally the new Dakini feet. No need. It's almost like CB are like, right, you want to play LF? Suck on this. This is what we think of you. It's not pleasant. It's no need. Our FLGS chain made a video where they made an entire room of those new 40k boxes. Dear Lord. An entire room. I hope they sold them. Armageddon isn't a horrible box. Some of it doesn't work well for continued players and prices a bit much for new players, but I can see where it's still be good. From what I understand, it's fine, but as you say, the price point's a bit wonky. And the content is sort of okay, but not great. Like, not great for new players, not great for returning players. Yeah, I don't know. I was talking to A&, Company today about, there's a video that I'm working on, and I've been working on for a little while, about what wargaming companies' starter boxes should be. Because I'm just bewildered by the number of companies that can make a wargaming system that we all love, but are completely incapable of making a starter box for it. Just unbelievably, just no. Just no. Don't, whatever you've just done, the other thing. Do the other thing. And so yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of I'm going to do a video on generally what I think, and then I'm going to do one that I think, what would be great if Infinity had, to be honest. Because those two are very different things, in my opinion. The first one was easy. Larbid, you lucky sausage. When I unbox Ruby, I may have Ruby Soho play stuff. Still enjoy my Elder in 40k, but of course we only play 3rd to 5th edition, so yeah. I played Eldar after Aspect Warriors were first released in White Dwarf 127. Remember buying Aspect Squads, 5 metal minis and a list of 250. Yeah. One of my friends actually played Eldar as well. And yeah. I remember seeing Sweeping Hawks the first time in real life and just being like, I need that. But I was working on what is now Genestealer Cults. So it was Genestealer Coven back then. Instead. With limos and all kinds of stuff. Back in the day. Loved that army. Absolutely bonkers. Way, way, way too many psychers. But yeah, I remember facing those. I remember seeing them. Almost regret fragging them out of the sky. Almost. Rumor has it as a how to upgrade your LF video on the way. Yeah, this week's packed, man. This week is absolutely packed. So this week we have. I was in delightfully mischievous mood. There is a video on how to expand your LF. So we've got that coming. So that's for Mazebreaker. So what you should buy next, because these are important questions that one should ask themselves. The next one is on the deep dive review of Dropfleet. So me giving my honest opinion of that one, which when I edited that video, I was like, you know, I don't know, sometimes you do something and you smile and you're happy with it. I was happy with that video. That video I like that for so many reasons. And what I really enjoyed about it especially is that a few days later, having recorded it and edited it and put it all together and uploaded it and all that jazz, I opened a box of Dropfleet that invalidated one of my points, which was glorious. I was like, oh God, there's my comment section. And I thought about re-recording it, but actually I kind of want it to stand because it's something that I've heard in the community, and actually I'm going to address it in a later video and be like, actually I was wrong, and here's what I was wrong about. Sort of. Semi-hemi-demi wrong. Not entirely wrong, but a bit wrong. Just enough wrong to be annoying. But not enough wrong that I, have ended the universe. So we have that, and then we have one more video. There's 3 videos this week, and the third video is another Mazebreaker one. And it is a step-by-step guide on how to adjust the Mazebreaker missions to make them a better introduction to the system. Because it's the best booklet that they've made, but my lord, there's problems with it. Frustratingly. Yeah, anyway, so there's that. Yay, Mike, how are you, buddy? You had a question for me last week. Did I answer it? I hope your father's had a good weekend. I did. I got absolutely spoilt within an inch of my existence. My gorgeous wife made me an English breakfast, which, considering she is a Dutch lady, is no small feat. And it was one of the finest English breakfasts I've had in my life. And I sent a picture of it to my local gaming community, and they were disgusted, which tells me that it was just the right side of absolute gluttony. And then we went off to see family for a family event, and then there's some lunch, and I didn't really have enough room to get anything in because I was still full of English breakfast. So it was freaking great. And Kids made me some stuff, and the kids and the wife picked me up some new Infinity product for the new project that's going to happen when the Shock Army is squared away. So that was exciting. It was one of those things as well where I've spoken to one other person that knows it's going on, and nobody else does. So I was all hyped, like, I want to talk to people about this, but I can't because it's a secret. I want it to be a nice surprise when suddenly I go, haha, look, no one expects Moretz. No, that's not what it is. I'm just going to shake up my local meta a little bit, adding in something that isn't really there at the moment. Very exciting. Already had 20 hours of enjoyment from my box. Well, that's awesome, Blissful Badger. But I also enjoy building and painting and don't care much about meta. That's the way forward. You should just enjoy your hobby where it is, man. That's what it's for. Looking forward to that, though I still find features confusing. So features are purely a place on a drop site which gives you buffs, gives you bonuses. That's all they are. So yeah, that's your lot really. But I understand it's a bit odd. There will be a video series on that at some point. I'm afraid of watching the LF recommendations since I have already ordered. Yeah, but Evie, you have ordered pretty much anything that is currently in production for LF, so I don't think you have anything to be concerned about. There's nothing that I say in that video that's like, oh, you should order 2 of those, because, I mean, you probably already have, to be fair. Dutch ladies are great. I married one, so, you know, I'm slightly partial. In my head, for some reason, I thought you could hide in them. Oh, I see. No. It sort of gives you defensive options in some circumstances, or buffs, or this kind of stuff. But most importantly, it kind of makes it worth putting stuff down as well in certain areas and things. So, but yeah, I get it. When the Arcanum for Eldfall is complete, which it can be now because I've got the terrain, which I put pictures out the other day. Very excited about that. It's got to paint it all up. Then it's coming out. But I'll be interested to see the feedback on the adjusting Maze Breaker video, because I've actually put in there, I've got this idea, you see, because the Maze Breaker book only goes so far. It doesn't do the Beyond Maze Breaker miniatures. And it sort of stops at a certain point in learning. And I kind of have this wacky idea that if people like it and they want to see it, that I'll make a series of going through Beyond and adding in the extra rules to expand your knowledge on the system, sort of thing. But that's if people watch, people care. That's kind of where we are. I own 3 armies in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and I thought of cutting back on them, but I feel bad about wanting to sell off in a game I still try to play. If you're playing, then play. You know, hold on to it. There's no need to. I'm culling armies at the moment because they're just stuff. They're sat in boxes, and I don't either enjoy playing them or I'm only playing them as intro. And that's not a reason to hold on to. I mean, one of the army, in fact, 2 of the armies that I'm selling, they come in about 600-700 euros. That's a lot of stuff to stick in a box. That is a lot of stuff to stick in a box. So, yeah, I'm not prepared to sort of just let that sit there. It's not. I don't like just having stuff. It annoys me. So, I've no longer with us, but I need to be sorry. Okay, Darina, understood. Blood pudding? No. Yuck. We had this whole conversation. In my local group about, oh, does it have any black pudding or blood pudding in it? No. It's because I'm from the south of England, where we can afford meat rather than just blood product. You know what I mean? You can actually afford the proper stuff to go on the plate. Oh, shoot, that's the wrong one. The machine. 012? Hack. Something NA2. Who knows, dude? I do. I know. I'm well aware. It's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. Although there was a moment where and this will narrow it down, not at all, but there was a moment where I had, in an order that I placed somewhere, a flyer. And I was like, oh, do I? No, I cannot face the backlash if I turn up with a flyer. I managed to resist, but the comedy would have been great. Whee. Too thin coats, people. Got to get that colour depth on there. Please. Recommendations, don't. It would be nice. But they have some amazing sculpts. They'll have part of Mazebreaker. Yeah, they do. They're all pretty. I don't think there's any bad sculpts in Mazebreaker, in my opinion. I mean, there's a bit too much boob, but that's just... Sometimes Corvus Belli has a moment where everything has to be massively accentuated in the boob armour department. And, you know, it's a look. It's an aesthetic. And it's part of the... it's been part of the game since before I joined, so, you know... Just stick to my normal thing. If it gets too excessive, I just don't buy those miniatures. There have been some over the years that I've just been like, no, I can't. I'm not owning that. That's not going in my collection, because it's just felt a bit icky. But everyone has their line and what they find acceptable and what they find cool. So yeah. What's killing you? Why are you? Why are we killing you? We're not killing you. We're lovely. One of my armies has only seen the inside of a box for the majority of the last 2 years. Dude, then it's not an army, it's stuff. If it was an army, it would be played with. That's the equation that I run, literally. I had a massive, so at one point I had a massive, 1,500 point, I think it was, military orders force. And I bought that around the same time that I bought about 1,100 points of Invincible Army. They were both roughly in the same spot at that point. They were both like majorly underperforming and they had major gaps in them. But I was playing more of the Invincible Army. So I sold the military orders because although I'd sort of got some airbrush work, I built them all and I'd got some airbrush work done on them sort of basically. They'd never seen the tabletop. They'd never been out sort of used in anger. I'd tinkered with a couple of lists because that's my nature. But they'd never actually been played. Well, at that point, they're just stuff. It's just crazy to keep that sort of volume of things, unless you enjoy that, and some people do, and I respect that. But for my own self, it didn't make any sense. I was like, well, I've got all this stuff here that I'm just storing. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm hoping to achieve by it. So I kind of they were rehomed. So yeah. Where's my? I've lost me. Where's me? Oh, it's over there. There we go. They are going to do multi-packs as well. Yes, down there you can expect that. Well, the stuff that I have recommended in the videos is stuff that you can get right now. And for the LF side, I think all of it has recently been redesigned, apart from one thing, which you might get released in those boxes. It might not, I don't know. But to be honest with you, it's yeah, in my opinion, it's worth it getting it anyway, but that's just me. But a couple of them, they've recently been redone, so I wouldn't really be concerned about them being reboxed in any way, shape or form. So yeah, like, it's not a spoiler because it's an obvious thing if you know roughly what you're about. But the remote packs, it's worth getting the remote packs. It's always worth getting the remote packs. So having those on the list, they've relatively recently been redone. I don't see them getting redone again anytime soon. So yeah, I wouldn't have an issue buying that. To be fair, to be fair. No clue. I'm starting Infinity right now and I'd rather have units not having units, fair play. By the way, Mr. Paintman, your past self wanted me to remind you to get your chats working on screen. Yeah, no, I've got some. I'm getting some help with that while I'm away. Mrs. Hydra should be tinkering, so that's exciting. Dick pile of feet, bravo. Right back. Yeah, okay, cool. Are the LF ones metal? Some of them are, yes. I think so there's two different types of remotes for LF at the moment. You have your rebots, which are, and the probots, which aren't. They're unicool, if I remember correctly, the probots. But the rebots are relatively clean. The rebots are the sort of generic ones, the total reaction bot and stuff, so... yeah. Unsubscribe due to black pudding comments. Crack on. I said what I said and I'll stand by it. And you'll miss me. You'll be back. You'll be back. Both know it's true, Captain. Boop. You meant the objective room. Oh, the room is killing you. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was like, oh. Yeah, no, I'm with you now. Yeah, no, you see what I mean? I hated that room. I believe I ended up putting it in a bag and selling it to someone and being like, look, it's in there. Best of luck to you. But I was friends with somebody else that made terrain at that point. I think they did something, so I was like, yeah, I'll take that instead. So it was much nicer. Now to my last part of Maze Breaker, I say, the doggo. Woof. Mrs. Hydra is very tech savvy. Mrs. Hydra is, for want of a better term, an IT consultant. So when we got together, we actually owned a sales and marketing company, and I taught her the starts of IT and servers and configuring and stuff like that there, and then she went off in her career and absolutely nailed it. So these days, in fairness, when it comes to sort of IT stuff, for context, I used to own an IT company. So this used to be completely my wheelhouse, but these days I kind of pass a lot of that along to Mrs. Hydra because she's better at it than me. She spends more time at it than me. So no issue with that. There are parts of me that I'm like, oh, I used to be good at this. I used to be the one that people ask. Now I'm like, I don't know, and I don't have the brain space, and I don't want to have the brain space. Can you do the thing so that the thing is nice, please? So yeah, she's a clever sausage about everything apart from men. Terrible taste in men, awful. Thankfully for me. Oh, this weather is so hot. It's just not fun. LF is mostly REM or structure. Yes, it is, but yeah, it is indeed machine. The Maze Breaker LF models and the Maruts tempt me to want to do LF next once I've painted up the beginning. The Marut is the way to go. Definitely. Never give up Maze. I had one on the table which I owned since around 2006. It's been in action for the first time Saturday. And Gear, you are the opposite of me, my friend. Nikor. Not quite? Why am I not quite? Not quiet, you mean? Yeah, I've turned everything up. All of the way. I do not have a smug laugh. How dare you? Anyway. I have a box of Nomads that have never seen a table since I got them when Crimson Stone was released. Oof. Woof. Yeah, she is cool. She is cool. I am a very lucky sausage. And she cooks English breakfast. I mean, you know. If I hadn't married her already, that English breakfast would have sealed the deal. We've been married 5 years now, so, you know, I think the damage is done. I think I've finally convinced her. I am making these way too hard. It's really funny. I'm not going to keep this force per se. I'm not going to expand on this force in any way, shape or form. It does nothing for me. But I absolutely bashed out the UCM and the biofighters I'm just being really fussy about. But this is the way I have to paint them. I have decided. I don't know. I don't know why I'm like this. I wish I wasn't. I'm so sorry. Tell my mum I love her. But makes perfect sense to someone. Fantastic, good to hear. Have we discussed how JSA got no flyer? A lot of factions have got no flyers, yeah. Well, some factions have got no flyers. Some have got 2. It's the Corvus Belly way, really. It's kind of like you, but not you. Screw that one particular faction in its entirety. You know, Shock Army didn't get a flyer. Did they need the red eye? No. Would it have been funny? Yes. Would I have bought one and then painted it up in my scheme and then covered it in like camo netting? Yes, I would have done. So it looked like some type of bizarre ghost from Pac-Man. Yes, I would have done. It would have been hilarious. I'm not going to do it now. I have an entire combined army's worth of aliens from Defiance that I've never done anything with it at all. Yeah, no, I hear you. That's the common thing. There's so much Shaz in there as well. There's alt scopes for Shaz. I had a moment the other day where I was tempted to get my Shaz again. So I sold all mine because they were a demo army. And I was like, well, maybe I'll do them again and I'll do a slightly different scheme this time. And I was like, but I still don't like playing them. So, you know, maybe not. And then I got better. Didn't make the stupid choice. Anyway, sorry, where was I? Little Gribblies are called that. Yes, they are. The best part of a good marriage is when you're like, wait, what? We were married for X years. When did that happen? Yeah, we've been together 10. And it was one of those like, really? Why? My biofighters look great. They do when they're done. I'm happy with them when they're done, Gene. I think when they're finished, they work. But it's this fairly early stage where I'm blocking in this orange. It just bores me. But it's a necessary evil. I've got to get the base right, otherwise the yellow ends up and the yellow ends up really bitty and the blends don't work. So I've got to take the time to put multiple layers over this purple and just make it solid. And I could have done it with grey first, but then it's too bright. It doesn't work. So it's so annoying. Bifrosters rules confuse me. I think it's because of how strange they are to play with all their mini ships, features and things. No, I agree. I need to tinker with them and learn to play them properly. They are a exception army. Or fleet, I guess. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Worst case scenario, get onto the Dropfleet Discord and be like, guys, what the help? Stuff's broken. Wouldn't be the first time that I've had a game that I've had to go off to a sort of community and be like, does this work this way? And then got a whole load of, no, nothing like that. No, I'm stupid. Thank you. How does it work? Whee. I don't know too much about flyers other than Left just got one and that Pano and Hack have one. And Nomads have got one and you know, there's quite a lot. There's quite a few flyers in the game at this point, EV, and they vary from that's disappointing to why? Who thought this was a good idea? And although they have counters and stuff like that, they are an oddity inside of the system at the moment. So they don't feel fluid to me still, like they work organically in the system. But you know. Who knows? I've been wrong before. Do Ariadne have a flyer? No. Is it powerful? Is it powered by a dog and a big hamster wheel? No. That would be silly, Nuclear Kid. That would just be stupid. We wouldn't do that. That's bizarre. I can't even imagine what kind of flyer you would give to Ariadne. Oh dear. I think that'd probably just be a dog warrior of some description with one of those little propeller hats. That would probably be it. As far as that goes. So, however, that new cruiser really makes one stress gorge. Yeah, I'm so tempted by them. Scourge even. I'm so tempted by them. They're such a cool faction. And they have I think it's a cruiser that's a Hydra, which would just amuse me. Although it's mid at best, so I was like, maybe I can live without it. But I think if I do get another faction post PHR/UCM, then it will probably be Scourge. But that is a long distance hence. I was looking at a different system the other day that looks really interesting. So we have, for the remainder of this year, we're doing Dropfleet, as you can see. And then we're going to be doing Star Wars Legion, because that's sat in the other room waiting. I'm being a grown-up and not buying more to go with it, because I already have an excessive amount of Legion, sat in the other room waiting to go. I'm not going to make it worse. I am not. There's going to come a point where I do. But so that will see us out to this year, I think. If everything goes right, by the end of this year, on this channel, you'll have the last faction focus for Eldfall Chronicles. That will be here. You will have the last of the how to play guides, or all of the how to play guides, including the downloadable, if you're a member of the channel, if you join that. Then you'll have the downloadable mission packs to learn the system as well, so that will be completed. Then you'll have the dry dock, which is the Dropfleet dry dock, which will teach you how to play this game. And some other bits that I want to do with that, because, yeah. And faction focuses for these, which is going to be really interesting. Give me a medium-sized breakdown when you have 40 to 50 ships in some of these factions. It's like, okay, so if I talk about each ship for 2 minutes, oh my god. Yeah. We shall see. We shall see what happens with that. Faction focuses for Infinity coming on board as well. I'd like to do some faction focuses for Warcrow and finish that off, but I don't know whether I will. There are questions to be raised there. Especially with the new jump to 400. And then a similar thing for Star Wars Legion. So I have a lot to do. So there's going to be no new systems this year after the two that are already penciled in. But there is another system that's come onto my radar that I want to look at, but it won't be this year. But it only goes into Kickstarter in a couple of months. So yeah, we're not too worried about that. And then we have the big Eldfall project, which I can't yet talk about. But if you have a couple of brain cells to rub together, you'll figure out what it is. It's very exciting too. So, yeah, the sort of dance card for the rest of this year is pretty full. So new systems. I think even like, I know there's a new drop zone coming out, and I'd love to pick that up to go side by side with this. And there's all kind of fun stuff we can do, but nah, just don't see it happening. And he said that, knowing in his very heart of hearts that it's going to take a Herculean effort to not be like, well, I've got Fleet when the new one drops. So, big guns with wings look cool when finished. Yeah, they do indeed. Speaking of Defiance, I secured the Platinum Extras box, thus getting the box art Shinobu. Congratulations, very cool. Dude, Ariadne wants the drones. Still want an Apache. Oh, that would be cool. I'll take drones for Ariadne. That would be very, very cool. I want to get a GoPod for my Bakunin. It looks interesting. Yeah, it has its place. Cosmothought Flyer. Do Camarade when rocket fuel is dissolving, even if you make the mistake. You not make a mistake. Yay. Too soon. Hey Phoenix, good evening. No, don't go drop zone. My body can't handle it. I will drag you down with me. Um, we need an LAM. Ariadna, get a chopper. No. Yes, they have the Hydra fleet carrier. Well, it would be rude not to. I know. It's on the list, Aldenair. Yeah, some ramshackle death chopper. As though built by orcs. Yeah, I can see that. Drop zone looks cool, but I think they have a bit too much resin still for my liking. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but no, I was in zone before. Drop zone was my main from Hawk. Was my main system, and it's a fun system. And the resin's okay. There's certainly worse. I've worked with worse thermoplastics. Moving on too soon. It was very interesting. I put up a video the other day about Warcrow, and it turned into an Eldfall loving session in the comments section. I was like, no guys, we're supposed to be talking about, never mind. You're all talking about Eldfall. I'll leave you to it. That's nice to see. It's nice to see that they're getting so much love and growing so nicely. They're growing in the US as well at the moment, which is very, very cool. Intrigued to see what the US market makes of them. Well, actually, I know what it does, because everyone that seems to have got involved with it is like, oh, it's so nice. Because it is. It's a lovely system. Really should do some more painting of that on this channel at some point soon. But I've got to finish this first. I'm building my community for this. So I need to get this done. Need to get these done, need to get all the cities done, and I've still got to build that box of space stations as well. That's cool. See how that goes. Doggo done. Super easy mall to put together. Yeah, it looked it, to be fair, Lockbeard. They should have a word with Free Company and learn the art of Unicool. Yeah, they really should. They really should. And Free Company will talk to anyone about it, because they're huge advocates. I mean, it does impact. It does have impacts going to Unicool, because it's produced out of China. So that sort of doglegs your production time and all that kind of stuff. And it can be. It's not as cheap as dragging it all in-house and doing it yourself. But it works. That's the thing. And that's the thing that some companies don't realise, is there is a pain point. There is a point where we won't pay more. But also, we won't pay if it's rubbish. If your product is ugly and it's a bit rubbish, then we're not buying it anyway. So, you know, I think chasing a quality point is a valid business strategy, and Unicool certainly seems to do that. So, anywho, need to look into the 2 hack flyers, still not completely sold on flyers outside of tournament games. Yes, spaceship. Indeed, machine. I think, yeah, they are certain specific flyers in Infinity with certain specific builds. I think if you don't take them in competitive environments, then you are sort of degrading your capability before the game starts. Which, yeah, no one wants to do that, especially not in a competitive environment. So when you have that, I'm not saying they're an auto-include, but I'm saying that they are a very potent thing to base many types of list around, because they bring a lot of utility and they bring a lot of sort of firepower, and yeah, they have a lot of things going for them. So yeah. How many Eldfall players do I have around me? Well, we did we were in the midst of an Escalation League, and I think there's 8 in that, but that's not the whole community. So I think it's something like 16. I don't know, that I know of, but that's not all of them. I kind of want to see it grow some more, but there's some stuff coming up for it that's going to help. So when you see me start pushing even harder on the system, you can expect exciting news soon. Let's put it that way. We'll be starting the hype train. Although I've got some really cool stuff that Free Company and I are talking about doing at the moment. I was chatting to Giga, the CEO, earlier on today about stuff, and it was very exciting stuff. And you know when you're in the middle of doing other stuff, so you can't do the stuff, and then you're like, but I've had this conversation about stuff and then I want to do it now, but I can't. Very disappointing. And that was one of those conversations. I got off the call, or I got off the conversation, sorry, should I say, inspired. That's how life should be. Either inspired or learning every single day. That's when I'm happiest. I'm so going to get XCOM so I could do stuff with that. I'm just doing the green on my USB. Nice. Good stuff. It's not bad at all, Evie. It's especially for a smaller system. They are just so cheap for what they bring. Yeah, they are. That's exactly right, Machine. The flyers are a lot of bang for not a lot of buck. I mean, the GoPod I'm not as in love with. I don't think it's as potent. I don't think they're all like death machines, but I think some of them are wince-inducingly painful. The new LF one is pretty filth, from what I remember. But yeah, at the moment I'm not playing competitively, so I'm not too worried. But I think with this new project, I want to take that competitive, and I want to take my Shock Army competitive as well. So it's only my Shinden that I'm not really going to go competitive with. I'm more painting that up as a happiness project. Just make it pretty. My Shock Army is because I'm painting it for the last time. I'm not going to sell them. I'm going to hold on to them. Even when I leave, if I was to leave the system, I would still hold on to my Shock Army. That's where we are with this. I'm not buying them again. I'm staying with them. They're staying with me. Get them all painted up. Get them pretty. Even inevitably where CB drops them out of the system forever, I will still hold on to them. So that's where we are. So yeah. It's just a hyperfast gun on a 2-wound platform that will exploit an opening in the defense. It is, but also, like, some of them are not really, they don't have a great deal of real weaknesses. You know, they often have reasonable BTS, they have mimetism, they'll have reasonable armor and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, they can't get in cover. Yeah, but you've got to hit the damn thing first. So, Shock Army does indeed have access to the Naga, Eevee, as is right and good. Shinden is fun to paint. Yes, they are. I have them set up here. I was working on some the other day on stream. Skyhound is still the nastiest flight out there, and the Red Eye. Yeah, I'd go with arguably that. Right, I'm heading off. Have a nice evening. Yoppen, take care, my friend. I will see you soon. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. So yeah, do you have one painted in your Shock Army style? Yeah, I do. Hang on a sec. Well, not finished. I haven't finished any of them for my Shock Army. I did a couple of test miniatures. Let me just get the right. There you go. This is how they're going to look. And for an actual dudesman, or dude's lady in this case, come on, behave. Along those lines. So, going for the destroyed city base, and then putting them in kind of the greys and the greens so they're camouflaged roughly in with it. They have a whole lore around them. I'm sat around a load of their bases up here. Got so many bases done. I just had a moment where I was working on all the bases. I think this is for a certain tag is going to sit on this one. So when the miniature goes on and it's finished painting, then I have grass tufts and stuff to go there still. So there's a lot more work to be done on those. But you get the idea. The Maze Breaker Naga models would fit that style really well, I feel. Yeah, I agree. I already have, I think, 3 Nagas, so I don't need more. It's starting to look really good. They look great, thank you. Thank you very much. They will do. I'm painting them, I'm pushing myself to paint them in a way that I'm kind of really happy with. because I'm not planning to do them again. So like, just putting them together and come on, get them to look really good. That's the plan. And put them all on nice bases and all that kind of stuff, and then just be done with it. And then play them until I'm done with them, and then store them until the heat death of the universe. That's roughly around the time I'll get rid of them. So if you're looking for something around then, do let me know, because I'll probably be up for sale. Ah. But yeah. Let's get these light colours on these biophyces. All this for demo. These are purely demo units. Don't know why I'm like this. Excuse me. Hope to see it on the table for you. You will do, Machine. We will do. We're definitely going to play. Do you have one paint? Oh, yeah, he's that. I'm officially a noggin. I'm pairing my first Maze Breaker mini with red and green, working through edge highlights. I'm red, green, colorblind. I'm lost, dude. that is a level. Ingira, take care, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you for hanging out, man. What? That is a level of just, oh man. What, did you not realise, or did you just get enthusiastic like, I don't ever paint red and green, let's do them together at the same time? Hang on. There's a reason I don't do this. God, the paint is drying too quickly. I don't know if I can actually get the wet blend going tonight, because it's a bit dry. No reason you can't make your demo army look pretty. Yeah, but also years of experience have taught me that demo armies get the stuffing knocked out of them, and it's not. It's just because of the nature of the environment that they're frequently in. People will accidentally knock them over, and they'll get picked up and put down and dropped and all this kind of stuff. And I used to have a really beautiful army that I had for demos, and it just, I found myself getting tense with people using them because they just got dropped and arms came off and things too much. And it's just, it's the nature of the beast, and it's not people being, they're not bad people at any stretch of imagination. It's just, you're talking and they go to put a miniature down on the edge of the table looking at you because you're having a conversation, and they miss the table. They're so focused on what you're saying that it just happens, and in an instant the miniature's gone and twink and smash, and you're like, oh god. And there's only so many times you can stick it back together before the arm joint doesn't go in properly, and then you're like, well, if I chip off some of the glue that's on here now, I'm going to take the paint with it, which means I'm going to need to reblend it back in, and if all the blends are really seamless, that it just becomes a cross that you bear every time somebody uses the miniatures, and I'd rather not do that. Pretty is good, good enough is good, you know? It just needs to be good enough. They look at it and go, ooh, that's what I'm after. So, yeah, there's a limit to how far I want to go. Not that it looks like it. Yeah, I'd be super stressed. That's the thing. It's not, like I say, it's not out of maliciousness. And a lot of the time as well, like you get to the end of a demo or whatever, and the person that's with you is super hyped. But if it's been a long one, which sometimes they are, they can be super tired, and that's when you make silly mistakes. And you know, I can't hold it against them. I've dropped miniatures before when I've done like 5 demos in a day, and you're knackered, and you just pick up a miniature, and then you didn't actually pick it up at all, and then suddenly it's in bits, and you're like, oh god. So yeah, experience tells me, nicely painted, yes, but don't try and win any awards, because it's got a tough life ahead of it. That's just the way it goes. It still sucks when people drop it, but at least you're not like, well, that's never going to look the same again, is it? Good enough is good enough. But yeah. I had this last time. It doesn't help as well. I had this last time when I was doing them the other week, that I don't push the yellow quick enough. I want them very yellow, And I start layering in orange like I'm doing at the moment, and then go, hang on, no, I'm going very high, so I need to take it. But I'm still going to do it because I've started, so, you know, just the nature of the beast, just the nature of me. When I get a process in my head of how the paint job is done, that's how the paint job is done. So, yeah. I'm sorry I missed you on the weekend as well, Machine. We'll have to do that catch up soon. I was, for once, I wasn't TOing. There was a bolt action tournament that happened locally, and I didn't TO it. And then there was a gaming evening that I would normally run, and I didn't. And yeah, it caught a few people flat-footed. They're like, "Oh, I'll catch up with you." Well, I'm not there, so you won't. But thank you. I'm actually going to take this. I'm going to take this all and put this lighter colour in. I wasn't going to. I was going to build it up, but actually, I'm not going to. I'm going to stop it being quite so deep in the recesses. I don't think that works. Are you going to varnish the ships? No, because I'm using true metallic metal, and that will absolutely nuke it. Plus they're plastic, so it's not so much of a problem with chipping and things. The only problem that I have is that I was going to get a couple of Felter cases for these, and they don't have stuff in stock at the moment, so I need to contact Felter and be like, are you getting this stuff back in stock? What's going on? So I've had that before. They've got out of stock of stuff, and then they've been like, oh, no, we're just going to wait for it to reorder. Well, if you could, because I've got miniatures that need looking after. So I plan to get a small case that I'm just going to put my biofisers or my UCM in, so that if somebody wants a demo, I can just pick up one box and be out the door, you know? That's the plan. I have had people walk off with some of my Judge Dredd minis, and someone squashed my Deathwalker from War Machine. Oh, God, no. Dorina, ow. Just, oh, God. Don't. People. If somebody's doing something out of the goodness of their heart to demo a system, don't nick the stuff. What's wrong with you? It shouldn't even need saying. It shouldn't need saying. It just really shouldn't need saying. Sad that it does. Does that happen more easily with plastic than with metal figures? I imagine the weight makes people inherently more careful and makes them less prone to being bumped around. No. It's not. Yeah, it happens equally with pretty much anything in my experience. Plastic miniatures tend to take it a little bit better. They tend to survive for the most part better, but no, it's not been. I think metal miniatures sometimes get it worse because people pick them up and they're not ready for the weight. I've had that before. Like, oh, that's really heavy. Doink. Yes, it is. You're quite right. I didn't realise that to tell you to use your muscle strength. Anyway. That's people. Still need to buy a transport bag. Yep, you and me both. Oh, I need more. I have that beautiful PHR one that doesn't fit my Dreadnought and doesn't fit two of my battle cruisers, which is nothing to do with the amount of miniatures that I bought, and purely, definitely 100% a design flaw. If they haven't designed their bags with the idea that a grown man can have no ability to control his expenditure, then I don't know what to tell you. I think that's just design flaw. It's just poor design on their part. No two ways about it. So, yeah. But it's all good. Who else is hobbying tonight? And if so, what are you hobbying on? What are you painting? Let me know. No, Doreena's doing some US from Bolt Action, which is cool. Looking forward to seeing the progress with those. I saw you did the undercoat with those the other day, Dorina, so cool. Good job. Getting on top of it. I have a magnetic box for my PHR. It's already full. Yeah, it's a problem, isn't it? There was a specific ship that I realised that I wanted more than one of, because I'd got. So I bought the Dreadnought. I bought the Battle Force or Battle Fleet, sorry, for PHR. Then I bought some extra frigates and cruisers because I wanted more. I think 4 wasn't enough. And then I bought 2 boxes of the battle cruisers because I couldn't decide which ones I wanted to make. So therefore I bought enough to make 4. And then I had to. I realised there was another one that I wanted from the light, so I had to order a new set of lights. So it was like, oh, God, perfectly under control of my expenditure on this system. 1 game in, totally under control. Loving it though. Very excited to play it again. Which is one of the reasons that I'm kicking my own butt to get these biophyces done, because I'm not going to start my PHR until my biophyces are done, until the dem kit's done. Because, you know, otherwise it's not going to get done. That's just bad. Building some of that UCM. Nice. Armandinos. Nice. Anyway, Alchiles. Mazebreaker. Very nice, Captain Castle. And Mr. Van Diem, don't bring that rubbish anywhere near me. I have no interest in facing those. You can naff off with your ears. You're back. Oh. I love that. That you often, I'm going to go, I have a romantic time with my partner, it's nice, and then they gave me, they're like, go out, stop playing. You know, okay, I'll just go back to what I was doing. My mistake. Love. Undercoating the models from the new Start Here box. Nice. Hello, Glenn Matthews. So you've gone for the Aleph versus the Nomads. Nice. Good call. Good call. Did you just get the Start Here, or did you pick up the expansions that go with it as well? Because I think they've got. I think those are out already. It's very confusing. We get told what's coming out as part of the creator program for Corvus Belli. They let us know sometimes minutes in advance, and they had nothing. The official documentation had nothing about the expansions for Start Here, so I did a video talking about it, and people were like, oh yeah, this is coming. I was like, I don't know if I can talk about it. I don't think I can, because I'm under NDA, so I can't talk about stuff that we haven't officially been told about yet. But then people had them like online for sale. You're like, well, I guess it's fine, but we're going to talk about those essential boxes at some point as well. That is a conversation we're going to have. We're going to sit you down and we're going to have a chat. That's what's going to happen. About my thoughts on the new one. Interesting times, Corvus Belli. Interesting times. But it's good. There's a lot of new people coming through. And see the Let's Play videos is sort of getting an uptick of viewership again, which is always a good indication that we've got new people coming in. But yeah. Had them already as the old models. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. They are indeed. That's one of the things I wish they would stop doing. I get why they are, and I get that lets them keep the price down, but come on, guys. An affordable Start Here box would be great with current gen miniatures. That would be just champion. But then I've always been a very demanding gamer, so, you know, maybe that's just me being demanding again. It was to keep me busy while waiting for Mazebreaker. Ah, wise. Which way are you going with Mazebreaker? Are you going Aleph or are you going Nomads? Still find it weird that it's the second flavour of Corregidor. Like, I was tinkering before I did the Nomad box. I was tinkering around with Army and playing with the new sort of profiles and having a good look at those, and it's just very weird to put something in a list and then go to add something else and it turning and you can't do that. That's a space one, and you just did the ground one, so you can't have both of those. Both Corregidor. Surely we can all just get along. No, you're not allowed it. Oh, God, fine. I'm on by it. Bless them. Very strange. And people have pointed out that we've had exceptions before. I get that. But it just feels weird. Hence the reason, or one of the reasons that my corregidors are looking for a new home out in the world. If they find one, we shall see. Otherwise they're going in the boxes of storage. So, you know, it's that to be said for it. Oh, nice, Phoenix. Take care. Yeah, are you aiming to demo? Oh, nice. Good stuff. Do you have many players in your area already? Are you looking to build a community, or are you just looking to grow the community, or what's the score? I need to do more stuff about growing the community, actually, for the for members. I need to get you guys some more stuff. I have ideas, but I have so many other ideas. I'm an ideas machine at the moment, and I'm very time poor. So we'll get there. You'll get the good stuff. It's not going to be yet for a day or two. Helaas Pindakaas. That's my Dutch people out there. I love the fact that my brain spat out Helaas Pindakaas, which means, for those of you who are not familiar, unfortunately peanut butter, which is just like, whoops, oh no, oh dear, type thing. It's that, yeah. Anyway, but it spat out in Dutch, and my brain went, hang on. Great. I've lived here so long that I just use certain Dutch phrases instinctively. I'm ruined. I'm ruined, I tell you. Corrupted by the touch of the Dutch. It's only a matter of time. Roughly, what's the value of your corridor? Very roughly. Curious if buying whole armies is something my hobby in my hobby price range. EVM, come back to that in a second. Captain Castle. So, well, first of all, so I think my corregidor at the moment is up at 275 euros. But what you have to bear in mind with that is it's over 1,100 points. Oh no, it's just over 1,000 points of corregidor. So it's not just, and like there's some stuff in there that is. I got the army in a way that I was happy with it. So what that means is one of the really useful units for Space Corregidor was, and arguably is, the Wildcats. And there is a Spitfire Wildcat, which I love because he's got NCO. And there's a heavy rocket launcher Wildcat, which I don't really love because of how I like to use my Wildcats. And then there is a single combi rifle Wildcat. Now you can make a core fire team of Wildcats, which is hilarious. It is fun, and it is stupid, and it is brilliant. But when all you can do is get one combi rifle, that really sucks. So I spent a couple of weeks working my socks off and managed to get myself 3 combi rifle Wildcats, plus the heavy rocket launcher, plus the Spitfire. So I can do a full 5, well, I would say man, but mostly women, Wildcat link, which is hilarious and worthwhile. But, and I've got some miniatures that are no longer available in there as well, and all this kind of stuff. So I've got a lot of stuff. Yeah, so, but I think it's worth, from memory, over 650. So I think 275 is more than reasonable. It's not badly painted either, to be fair. So, but it's not fully painted is the problem. I think if it was fully painted, I would not sell it for that. I'd sell it for a lot more. But it did come with me to the Interplanetario a couple of years ago, and it did all right. It did all right. If you've heard the story about me gunning a Avatar to death with a combi rifle, it was my Corregidor force that did it. And it has a oh, I've forgotten the name of the remote. Vostok. It has a Vostok that's name is LV426, because, you know, if you know, you know. Do love LV426. Oh, you're hoping to draw some in. Oh, that's nice. Good for you, man. Good for you. If I can help at all, reach out. Let me know. If you're a member on Patreon or you're a member on YouTube, then grab me on Discord because that's where we talk about more of that stuff. So, and if you're not, it's less than the cost of coffee per month, and then you get the Discord and you get longer videos and you get more of me. And I don't know whether that last thing is a good thing, but anyway, do consider joining if you haven't already. And if you are on there's quite a few of you actually over on Twitch this evening. Hello, Twitch. If you are on Twitch and you have got a Prime membership, don't forget you can become a subscriber to my channel for nothing. Prime pays it. You just use your Prime membership to sub over there, and it helps me immensely. And takes money off Bezos and his buddies, which is only a good thing, let's be honest. I should nuke it from orbit. Well done, Dallinair. Bravo. Already have a colleague painting up next wave. The Juggernaut drew him in. Yeah, I'll do it. That will do it. Here's a pretty miniature. Evie, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around what Eldfall did with the Goblins and Oni. They seem like they're NPC enemies turned playable faction, but a lot of their units seem locked behind this €190 box. So, the Goblins were an expansion for Northern Wind, which is the dungeon crawler board game for Eldfall, and the Oni were the big bad inside of there. Yes, a lot of the core miniatures are part of Northern Wind for the Oni. The Goblins are available as a separate box you can buy, and has cards for both the Skirmish War game and for the Northern Wind game. So you can use it in both. You can use them in both. But we are going to get an Oni faction box released soon, TM. So you'll be able to buy it. But essentially, yes, the Oni were part of Northern Wind. So if you wanted them, you needed to pick them up from there. Basically, it's one of the things, and I think that will be a model going forward with Free Company, which I get. You know, they want people to play their dungeon crawlers because that is where the world and the universe is expressed and develops and grows. That's the narrative side. So I totally get why they'd want people involved in that, and they want to tell their story, and they want everyone there. But they are very pretty miniatures, though, I have to say. I only is sat on deck, waiting to go at some point. There we go. They are. Oh, come on! Look at the thing. Whoop! Don't do that. You focus. Oh, oh, oh! Look how pretty. Look how pretty they are. Love them. So yeah, they're on deck at some point. But yeah, so at the moment that's where they are. You're quite right on that synopsis, young Evie. I see, only seen the coolest guys, and yeah, she's cute. So seeing her locked away seemed disappointing. Not that I'm going to play this game. One, yes, you are going to play this game. That's a given. I don't know whether the Kaiohime, I'm playing that incredibly wrong, will ever be released because she is an exclusive to the box. But I guess they'll do an alt sculpt. So look forward to that. But I get it. I get what they do. Remind me, is the dungeon crawl solvable? Solvable in what sense? Can you win? I think there's something like 17 or 18 different finish. I know there's more. I can't remember how many it is. There's a ridiculous number of different endings that you can get in Northern Wind. It's absolutely bonkers. I was talking to Jigo about it. I was like, really? That many? And that's before you buy the expansions, which let you end up with even more endings. So it's quite a cool thing. I still have desires to do it on stream, actually. And it got a little bit closer when we got the new toy today, so that's good. New camera makes all like desktop things much more possible. So the theory goes anyway. We shall see what it actually does. God, it's so dry today. It's so warm and so dry. It's really killing my paint on the miniature. It's a chess sound as in cheese for Chio. Yeah, for her. Margaret. That's her name as far as I'm concerned. Margaret is a lovely miniature. You're quite right. Bought Northern Wind at UKGA, assembled the miniatures, but not got round to. Yeah. Solo playable, yes. Tis. Green done, dripped on one. The Elful miniatures are sweets, as but nope, not spending out. Unlike Dory from Finding Nemo. Oh, shiny. No, that's kind of the issue that I had. Oh, Evie, I love you dearly. Chi Yo He May. Margaret. That's what I said. Definitely do it on stream. You can teach me the rules. Well, I have this great idea, and I've got a couple of friends that are up for it, and I think it would be really cool just to have like a Sunday evening. We sit down and we just do one adventure on a Sunday evening. So you can sort of end your weekend having a super chilled time, watching us work our way through Northern Wind. Because I've got the full set, I've got all the expansions and stuff, so I can do the whole thing. And we can just pick our way through, and it would be very cool. In fact, Machine was talking about coming on board with that. So it would be very funky. And all the rest of it is just a matter of sort of... One of the issues was not having the right kind of gear to shoot. But, as I say, with the new camera that turned up today, that sort of got less the case, so that helps. I think I've got 4 cameras now. So that gets us the multi-cam option that I want. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And is Northern Wind a one and done release, or will it still be available when the next dungeon crawl? Please hints on who and what, and yes. Will it still be available? Yes, I think so, because they're building a story. They're building a world with story. So, yeah, I think it's going to continue to be available and around, certainly, when Apocrypha arrives. What can I tell you about Apocrypha? Well, we know it's a similar sort of structure. What do I want to tell you about Apocrypha? Oh my god! What can I say about Apocrypha? We don't tell you more. It's very, very cool. It's looking... So I love Northern Wind, and Northern Wind is this great story and this great narrative and this great adventure, okay? And Apocrypha is way more so. And the setting for it is just like, oof, and like the narrative behind it is like, oh my, well. And it opens up, there's certain things that we need to know, but we don't know yet, and that sort of leads us towards those, but I don't think it's necessarily going to tell us those yet, but like, it's going to have like stuff, and oh mate, really. I talk to Giga of Free Company most weeks. He and I catch up, and he will periodically send me artwork and stuff like that, and then it's just like, dude, if I can't get it delivered within 24 hours, this is just cruel and unusual torture. This is just, you're just being mean at this point. Which I think it helps him because he knows he's going in the right direction. If I'm sort of coming over all available, then he knows he's heading in the right direction. But yeah, it's looking really, really nice and really, really cool. And yeah, what I know of the narrative so far, it's Northern Wind, but even more epic. So, and that's probably more than I should say, and that's all I'm going to say. So, when we start going through the launch process of that, buckle up, basically. It has a snake tail woman thing that looks awesome. Does it? Oh, that's amazing. That's very interesting. Yeah. No, who knows? Who knows? I know it's in the artwork, but I can't say. Can't say more. It's just, oh. Some of the artwork that I've seen, dudes, oh, it's just like, yeah. There are messages that just is me being a little teenage boy and squeeing at the screen, basically. But that's fine. It's nice to be excited about something. So that is definitely coming soon. Your wallet just shuddered. It should damn near implode. I think looking at it, I will say this. Apocrypha is almost certainly going to be more expensive than Northern Wind was. I would expect that. Just like from the scale of stuff. And I absolutely will say that I would absolutely pay it. I don't know how much more, but I think it's going to be more. And I think it's going to be... I can't see them do it. There's going to be more. And it's absolutely going to be worth it. It's absolutely going to be worth it. Not a wallet breaker, but like... How can I put it? You know, sometimes you look at something... So like, with the 2-player starter sets for Eldfall, I looked at those and I bought both. I got the first one in, and then I ordered the second one as I was unboxing the first, basically, because it was like, yeah, no, this is a no-brainer. This is an absolute... I'd be stupid to miss out on these type price point. They were ridiculously cheap for a ridiculously quality product. I think that Apocrypha is going to be that kind of thing where you look at it and you go, oh, that's quite a bit of money. And then you look at what's in the box and you're like, yeah, but I'm getting a lot of quality stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's not going to be something that you take lightly, but I think it's going to be something that you, when it turns up, you're like, yeah, no, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad that I did the thing. So, yeah, don't expect it to be $5 and a can of pop. It's going to be more than that, but definitely worth it, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far. And I haven't seen all of it, so, you know. Are we talking maybe the same price as the 40k starter? No. 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 So, definitely not that kind of order of magnitude down there. No. Ordered the Northern Wind box from my FOGS, but they haven't shipped it yet. Planning on having it as my summer painting project. Is Apocrypha a continuation of that story or a standalone story? So, as I understand it, what we're going to get from Free Company, which has me drooling, I'll be honest, is that we will get regular dungeon crawlers, and they progress the narrative. So that is where the world is going to move forward, and we're going to see the new stuff, and we're going to find out the direction of things, you know? Like, so we know that, we already know that the humans, like Soga, are not from Kalad. This is a known thing in lore. They are not from the world of Kalad. They are from somewhere else. Where are they from? How did they get here? Why are they here? What's going on? This world is driving towards stories around, you know, where it's got this scope to it. And we have many mysteries buried in the lore. There's stuff that, if you look closely, is like, what? But why is that? Why? And these dungeon crawlers are going to answer those. You're going to go on these adventures that will help you understand and see that world. Where the skirmish is going to take you on solo adventures of smaller scale, if you want to do that kind of thing. There's going to be narrative push inside of there, but they're going to be more localized, I think. They're going to be smaller scale stuff, all tied in with the competitive play of the annual tournament system as well. And then you're going to be able to go straight competitive as well and just pure violence. So you've kind of got this... Dalaner, I'm not repeating that. Dear Lord, you're showing your age, and it's roughly the same as mine, and I worry for both of us. Anywho, yes, very, very, very well picked up on, you monster. Anywho, but yeah, it's interesting. So you're going to get more story, you're going to get more crunchy, like the big stuff in the dungeon crawlers, and I think that's, you know, will you be able to read about it later? Yeah, I'm sure that will happen. Will it be more fun to play it? Abso-frackin-lutely. I will never get bored of the feeling with Eldfall Chronicles of being on an adventure, of being in a fantasy world, just like, you know, just having that adventurous feeling. That is what the game gives me. It's one of the things that I love about it. It doesn't feel like a battle game, even though there is combat and that's the point. It feels to me more like an exciting adventure, more like D&D than it does 40k, which is why I love it. Although you can play it with that sort of thoroughbred competitive side. And the fact that one tentpole product per period is going to be, right, here's what's going on in the story. This is your next great adventure, and what goes on in the world, and we progress the story forward is so cool, I think. I think that's a really cool idea. I think it's quite unique and quite fresh, and I like it. I like it a lot. So, long may it continue, and long may it grow. To be fair, to be fair. I want to see more of it. I'd really like to see Free Company's model and idea just explode, and I'd like to see other companies turn around and go, oh yes, wargamers do want to play solo. Oh yes, wargamers do want crunchy, heavy narrative just to chew on. You know, they want to immerse themselves in the world, and they want to have the option to not do any of that. All of those things can be true. Sounds amazing. We'll have to rope in my gaming group into this one as well, it seems. Well, if they're already there, I mean, you know, they're hanging out with you. What should I call you, Evergreen one? Because I'm not calling you 19, and the Evergrey one just seems a little bit rude. And I'm not calling you 78 because that makes you sound like a very sort of bad Hitman knockoff. What should I call you? Or should I just call you Dave? It's when you know you've been watching too much Mighty Jingles right there, when you want to call people Dave for no apparent reason. But yeah, no, you absolutely should. It's going to be a hell of a ride, I think, when it drops. And I'm hoping in the lead up to that, we're going to have some really good stuff for it on the channel here. I'm in conversations with the guys about that, and I have some really nice things that I'd like to do, and some things that I'm hoping we can get, like maybe get some model reveals on the channel, maybe, because I'd really like that. I'd really like to kind of be, here you go guys, this is what you're going to get when the Kickstarter arrives, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, we'll see. I really want to put my weight behind it though, because I really want other companies to learn that there is more to wargaming than throwing buckets of dice at each other. Anders. Okay, Anders. Lovely to meet you. Bob. You live just around the corner from Jingles as well, don't you, Dorina? And if you know who Jingles is. And if you don't, you totally should. Because he's the highlight of my week sometimes. Apart from talking to you guys. But, okay, Anders, I will endeavour to remember that one. But yeah, you should definitely get your group involved. I think when it drops, yeah, there will be very many worse ways to spend your time than hanging out playing Apocrypha with a group of friends. I definitely have to say. The mighty Jingles indeed. The man, the legend. If you've not seen him, he does World of Warships and World of Tanks and other like gaming related videos, but he just has a sense of humour and a way around him that is just, he has an infectious sort of optimism around him. And I find listening to his stuff, he'll often talk in detail about a specific ship that's in the game in front of you. I don't know, I never remember any of it. But he just has this sort of relaxed way that just is nice, you know? It's just good. What was fun too if that works better. Don't give me permission to call you Bob. Anders is fine. Excellent lore quite often leads to D&D adventures too. Maybe we will get one for Eldfall. No comment. No comment on anything to do with the future of that particular company. You will have to wait and see. That's all I'm going to say. I'll tell you something. When I heard about what the plans were for the future of that company. Anyway, you'll just have to wait and see. Be a good little wargamer and wait patiently. Help fund the future of that company. Would you and some friends like to play the B5 RPG on Sundays? Would I? Me and RPGs. I've played several in my lifetime. The problem that I have is that I like to create worlds and take people on adventures. That's kind of my thing. That's where my happy place is. But I don't really want to DM. So I know, and I've learnt many, I've tried it many times. We've tried this Edge of the Empire or whatever it is, the one for Star Wars. A friend did that. We did a one shot with that, and that was cool. And I used to play back in the day. We did some games of like Top Secret SI when that was a thing, way back in the day. And yeah, I mean it's fine in the moment, but like yeah, I don't know. I want to be in control of it, and I don't have the experience, and I don't have the energy to get the experience, and yeah, it's just the instant reaction is like yes, and then the second thoughts are like yeah, you're not going to do that. You know you're not. So let's just not even make out that we're going to. So cool idea doing it, but I would pass on that. It's not my bag. Running through the structured stuff for Northern Wind would be fine, but yeah, having to wait a week for stuff with an RPG is just not it's just not me. You've got to know these things about yourself, haven't you? Disappointing as they often are. I've just tightened AE in my head. Nice. We're starting to finish making a work Google Sheet contraption work. Now done. Should I base them in ease or just go to sleep? What time is it there, Lartbeard? Wargamers have patience. No, they don't, but the theory is sound. They should do. Patience is a definite virtue in life in general. And in wargaming, you know, it doesn't hurt, does it, to be a little bit of a patient sausage? Well, it does. Okay, it does hurt. It hurts a lot, and that's why we can't do it. But, you know, the theories sound that you should be patient. Even if it is, in fact, impossible. That's that. Goes and sits down in the corner looking for some cookies. Darina, I'm sorry. Just about midnight. Lartbeard, go to sleep. You've got things to do tomorrow. Much as I'd love to say, hang around with me and chat more, I'm going to be off in a minute. And you need your sleep. You're a handsome chap, but you need your sleep. It's important. Sleep and hydrating. These things are important in life. It's a very kind offer, Darina, and I wish that I could say yes and mean it. But I'm not going to lie to you and be like, yeah, no, I'm definitely going to do that, because I definitely know I'm not. Even if I mean it in the heat of the moment. Very, very quickly I'll be like, damn it, I shouldn't do that. I've got other things to do. And that's the other problem as well. I'm so busy. Got now down to 2 local escalation leagues running. I've got another couple coming on stream soon. Getting ready to do some experimental stuff for a bolt action tournament as well. Which, if it works, which it will, because it's a genius idea, but if it works, I'm going to be releasing on the Discord server for other bolt action players to have a tinker with and tell me what they think. We shall see. We shall see how that plays out. But yeah, I just don't have the time. You've got to be honest with yourself, especially when it's you. I think the worst thing you can do is be disrespectful of other people's time and be like, yeah, no, I'm definitely going to do that, knowing that you won't. I don't like doing that. I've had too many people do that to me as well. They're like, yeah, no, I'm definitely going to get involved. And like, cool, I'll plan that. And then, yeah, you do that. Are you free Wednesday? No. Thursday? No. Friday? No. Right. Should I take that as a, you're not going to be doing this? Yes. Right. So yeah, I don't want to be disrespectful of your time. Hydrate. Got idea, measures, short whiskey. Good idea. I've got some nice whiskey in the other room, but I've got to drive to work in the morning, and I know that 1 will turn into 5, and then, yeah, tomorrow morning will be a dangerous place. So we're not doing that. Those who can't paint, build. Did you try the army builder the guy posted on Reddit for Dropfleet? It's lovely. I've been playing around with it all evening. Ah, man, by Warlaw. That man is a legend. He's an absolute legend. Of Stage Screen and Dockyard Canteen. If you watch his videos, yeah, just superstar inside the Infinity community and a couple of other places too. Really nice human being. Really, really nice and really, really skilled and really, really enthusiastic, wanting just to get involved with helping communities and all that kind of stuff. He's a very good guy. I'd like to do some collaborations with him, but it never seems to work. Anyway, it's by the by. I did see it, and I did have a brief tinker, and it was one of those things where, again, that was another thing. I just finished the review of Dropfleet, and I'm like, well, there's some okay army builders out there, and then Jet comes in and drops that, and you're like, you couldn't have left it a week. I really would have liked it if you'd left it a week. It would have made my life easier. So I know every 5th comment now is going to be, well, if you've tried this new army, yes, it's lovely. If you haven't seen it, it's out on Reddit, is where I saw it today. And it's a new army builder for Dropfleet that actually is nice and works and is pretty and functional and feature rich and all that kind of stuff. Not an app, only web-based, but very, very cool. Speaking of bot action, my new automated Tommy platoon and B for Bertie arrived the other day for K47. Nice. I got sent some of the automaton guys from Warlord the other day, and I sort of emailed them and said, I'm not doing K47, can you stop sending me stuff through? You're just wasting your marketing budget. Please don't. I have guilt. So they're not going to do that. I'm just going to get the stuff for bolt action, which is going to make me happy. It does make me happy when it comes in. Which reminds me, we've got a nice fat review coming up for that soon. A certain Commonwealth release. We have much to discuss. So, oh, is he known? I thought it was just some random guy. That's cool. No, he's very well known. Warlaw is, you can find Warlaw on YouTube, and he's a good guy. He's got more subscribers than me, done less videos than me, but yeah, he's Jet's a really, really cracking guy. Cannot say nice enough things about him, to be honest with you. The fact that he's built this thing for Dropfleet, it's one of those things where you kind of want to turn around to our friends at TT and be like, you really need to kind of jump on this and not be grateful, but like just appreciate the fact that you've got somebody that actually knows their onions, has stepped in and gone, let me help this out, help this situation out a little bit, and has done so for free out of the goodness of his heart. So I'm doing British in bolt action and K47, all the tanks and such are great to be. Yeah, you lucky duck. I look at K47 and I like it very much. It's a very, very cool system. There's no two ways about it, but it's just not. I don't need that system in my world. I have technically too many systems as it is. I think there's going to be one for the chop this year. I think I know what's going, but it won't be any of the main ones on this channel. Let's put it that way. But you've got to be realistic with yourself and time and energy and money and focus and stuff. If you're going to understand, if you're going to talk with any authority about something, you have to put the time in. And the more systems you have, the harder that becomes. So, oh, you swine. A bit too yellow. Tone it down a bit. There we go. Yeah. Okay, teeth brushed, biology altered, time for bed. Night, Evie. Pleasure as ever. Glad to have had you here. Grindali. Pay this guy and buy his thing. TT is awful. Yes, they are. But we love them anyway. We love them anyway. They're doing a lot of things as well. I get it. Just not focusing. Yeah. They're not looking in the right direction with a couple of things. As I say in my review, a nice army builder is important for onboarding. So it would be good if they did have a decent one. Let's just do the edges of these, I think. And then I think I'm going to be out as well. I haven't got a single one of these ships done tonight. I'm spending way too long on them. But I'm actually enjoying it, so, you know. It's not necessarily a bad thing, is it? If you're having fun with it, that's kind of the point. He's nearly done. It's going to annoy me otherwise. Pick this up a little bit. Boop. I so need to put my Applejack in the fridge. You should absolutely do that. When I was playing D&D, I bought some minis for people to use. Two of the players broke the miniatures. I took them to use He-Man, and some people are just rude. Lovely pencils, thank you very much. They're not bad. They are not bad. They're taking shape. It's going to be good when they're done, but there's so many. The Biophysis side of this box is much bigger than the other one, than the UCM. More stuff in it, which is cool, but also I kind of want these done and out so I can put them on the table and I can do the other stuff that I want to do. But they're starting to take shape. I think he's got a little bit brighter as well, which is good. Good to have my first cruiser on the table, ready to roll. But yeah, I think my wife has left the back door open because the mosquitoes just flown in. That's delightful. Anyway, you little legends, thank you so much for hanging out. It was lovely to see you all. It was lovely to spend time. Enjoyed it greatly as ever. I hope you have a lovely week. Don't do anything too silly. Hydrate. The weather is terrible. And look after yourselves. And Captain Castle, if you're interested in that corregidor, ping me, because we'll sort something out. But for now, thank you all so much for hanging out, and have a lovely rest of your week. And I think I've said on Discord, but I'll say here as well, I'm off to the UK later in this week to sort out some family stuff, so there'll be videos dropping, but there won't be as much bits and pieces from me if you're on Discord and things, so just be aware of that one. But apart from that, you all take care of yourself. I'll see you all soon. Take care, and goodbye.